Chapter 5 of It's a Dangerous Business Going Out Your Door. Sha-na-na-na-na-na, going on an adventure. Sha-na-na-na-na-na, going on an adventure. Rainbow, what tornation you doing? Applejack called up to her flying friend. They had been on the move for about 3 hours now. The free forest passing swiftly around them. They were following a mostly clear road that had already taken them past the chorus hut in the wild woods. They then had arrived at a river that cut through the forest, without gabbling on its right bank. They knew from studying a map that the river's headwaters were up in the Dragonbrace Mountains. By following upstream, they hoped to reach the mountains by nightfall. Well, Pinky's not here. Somebody has to sing, Dash said. No, somebody doesn't have to sing, Airplane quickly replied. In fact, avoiding singing is one of the reasons I didn't want Pinky coming on this trip. Aw, come on, AJ! No! I pull my hook down! No singing! Applejack! You are in a pony fic, as read by me. Singing is a requirement. It's just like, sooner or later, I'm going to pull out the Trixie voice. So it's required by him now to have at least one song cue in one of these fics. Probably the only example of that not happening is a Fallout fic. You're right, a Fallout fic. Thank you, Trix. Rainbow Dash was silent for a few moments. Can I at least do the shit on us? No! No shit on us! Delta's lead the Miller slogan. The Pegasus passed a few more moments in silence. Finally, she said, Well, can you at least hum? Applejack glanced up at her friend, saw the years they expressed on her face. She knew better than to be fooled. Rainbow was hardly ever innocent, but couldn't deny the pout. How good she could hum. She finally realized it. Yay! Rainbow Dash cried. She immediately began humming the jaunty tune of the song she had just been singing. Applejack gritted her teeth and tried to block it out. This effort was not helped by Rarity, who moments later began humming the song herself, adding her smooth, dulcet hum to Dash's culture one. It was one of the rare times Applejack wished she could only walk on two hooves, so the other two could be free to be stuffed into her ears. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fellow goes ever, ever on, my friend, back to where we once begun. Rainbow Dash had been delighted to hear Rarity joining in with her humming. Looking down, she saw the unicorn, who was keeping pace with Applejack rather well. She was bringing up the rear, but not far behind at all. In fact, she was right at Applejack's heels. They were actually moving pretty quickly. Maybe we'll make it in time after all. Rope! Rarity collided with Applejack's hindquarters as the airplane screeched to a sudden halt. Rainbow Dash saw past them before coming to a hard stop and whirling around. What? What's wrong? What is it? Pegasus cried. I found it all. I knew I forgot something. Applejack cried, summering her vaguely to the ground. I forgot to pack in rope. Rarity was rubbing her horn with her hoof. Is that all? She deadpanned. Oh, sure, y'all laugh, Applejack huffed. The rope's right-handed thing to have around. We're already thinking a dozen ways we'll probably need it. Well, we can't go back, Dash said. We gotta keep going. Coming back will waste too much time. Applejack glanced back down towards the riverbank. She sighed. Suppose you're all right. She returned to previous gallop. But we're gonna be sorry we don't have no rope. Mark my words. Sure, and when that time comes, yeah, we'll mark 'em. Dash muttered, flapping her wings once more. As morning turned to afternoon, the plane's stomachs began to churn. Rarity in particular was feeling hungry. Finding harder was work than flying. She was not used to sustained physical exertion as Applejack. At her insistence, they stopped for lunch beside the river. Applejack opened her saddlebags and plucked out 3 apples, 2 of which she rolled across the grass to Rarity and Rainbow Dash. That's it? Dash asked. That's all for the bag. Closing the saddlebag with a snap. We gotta make these apples last. So if you're hungry for more, she lowered her head and spit up a hunk of grass. Get the fortune. Freddy drew back in disgust. You mean it's raw grass? It hasn't even been seasoned. Does it have some salt? Girl, I had a lot more important things to pack than salt, Applejack said. If you want it, you should have packed it yourself. You know, we've seen a lot of food show up on the show. We've seen hay burgers, we've seen hay fries, we've seen so many varieties of foods, and we've seen these type of daffodil sandwiches that show up on the show proper. I mean, on fanfics. It's so rare to actually see a story remark that they can also start eating grass. Hey, it's been a long time since I've seen that. Cool, Rares. Dasso will smile, chewing her grass with her mouth open. It's spring. Everything's nice and juicy. Ugh, the unicorn grumbled, taking out her sunglasses and using them to place magic on her face. If you want, I could go up and pull off some leaves for you. Das offered. They're really tasty. No, Rarity muttered. She bent down and daintily took a bite of grass. She chewed it, once slightly at the strong, unrefined taste. She swallowed hard. It's quite bracing. Besides, the raw thing is so hit nowadays. She took another bite of grass, gritting her teeth. The things I do for friendship. She thought, oh, Twilight, I do hope this is all worthwhile. Again, this is a little bit of reminding of what type of world you're dealing with that makes the Ponyverse so unique. I want you guys to take a lesson on this. Always take advantage of your unique world setting. They ate fairly quickly, and Rainbow Dazzle's assistance. The rainbow-maned Pegasus was eager to remain on the move as much as possible. Rarity ate as much grass as she could stand, before mostly moving on to much more appetizing apple. Applejack unceremoniously chomped her way through most of the grass around her. Dazzle ate some grass, then flew to snip at the elm leaves hanging over her head. Applejack and Dazzle insisted they not lounge, so the three ponies convulsed their hoofs and resumed their journey, causing Rarity to whine about the damage to her digestion. All the while, the Dragon-Bridge Mountains moved closer and closer over the tops of the trees, until the summits were no longer visible. They were merely a great wall of rock. By evening, the sun had already gone down beyond the mountains, casting the whole of the forest in an ever rapidly deepening shadow. The path was no longer level. They had already begun to quite gently climb. The odd boulder was now appearing, jutting out of the ground amidst the trees as they galloped past. Hold it! Death suddenly cried, causing Applejack and Rarity to screech a halt. The two growling ponies looked up at their flying companion, who was intently glancing skyward. It's going to rain, she said. We should probably camp for the night. I didn't think there were any storms scheduled for this evening, Rarity remarked. Everfree Forest, remember? Death said, flapping her wings gently as she descended to the ground. The weather here makes itself. Indeed, nothing in the Everfree followed the schedule. Unlike every other part of Equestria, nature worked completely on its own in a wild green forest. Animals cared for themselves, weather systems formed on their own, and plants grew completely free of pony guidance. It was extremely strange. One of the reasons why Ponyville was still considered a frontier town, despite being centuries old. Well, more like a century, but I am convinced that Twilight was just using hyperbole since she was anxious and excited and was pointing out the mysticism. That, or since this was season 1, well, you know how things go. At one point, they talk about the top speed of a Constitution class being at Warp 7. Next, they're going Warp 9 like it was nobody's business. They talk about credits in the first series. The next generation says that credits are forbidden. See how this works? You know how it goes with a show that builds like this. Doyless or Watsonian, take your pick. The forest was even older, growing since the earliest days of Equestria, as far back as recorded history. To verify Dazz's instincts, a distant rumble vibrated in Applejack's chest. Turning around, she could see a bank of dark clouds rolling toward them, flashing occasionally with brilliant bursts of light. The wind was also picking up, the trees beginning to sway. Oh, goodness! Yes, please do get under the cover before it starts raining, Rarity cried, stopping her hose after another quick suggestion. Hold on, Sir Q, Applejack said, trying out the path into the trees. I've got our tarp in my saddlebag. We can swing over a branch. It sure would be nice if we had some rope! Yeah, Das muttered, falling into the trees. Look, there's lots of rocks around, she said, kicking at one near a hoof. We could just use those to secure the tarp, and the trees will block a lot of the rain, right? I suppose so, Applejack admitted. She was now glancing up at the branches overhead, peering through the foliage until she saw one that suited her. It was a long, thick branch that stuck neatly straight out from the tree it was attached to, not too high off the ground. Pulling off her saddlebags, the orange earth pony yanked a very thick roll of gray wool with a waxy exterior. She gripped one edge with her mouth and began to finally shake it, causing it to unfold, making it bigger and bigger with each swirl of her head. By the time it had fully unfurled, it was quite large. Rarely, she called over her shoulder, mouth still full of tart. Come deliver some magic, will you? All right, the White Unicorn said primly, her horns shimmering as her telekinesis began to work. There was actually a plentiful amount of decent-sized rocks scattered trees, likely remnants from rock slides. Each one she saw, she raised into the air, until she had more than a dozen floating around her. Rainbow, you grab the other end of this tarp and pull it over that tree branch, she said. Sure, Das cried, taking the end of the tarp opposite of Applejack. She flapped her wings and raced it up into the air. The foliage around her was heavy, but she was able to maneuver herself up and over the thick tree branch. Applejack walked forward as the tarp was pulled. Soon it was forming a triangular open space, several feet wide and even more feet high. Now, Rarity, put those rocks down and pin this sucker in place, Applejack said. Rarity easily complied, setting the rocks down in two neat rows. On each side, 7 to a row. Unicorn suddenly felt a drop of water hit her horn. And not a moment too soon, she said. Another raindrop came down, then another, and water was falling, rapidly from the sky. The 3 ponies quickly scurried under their makeshift shelter. Rain was pattering under the oilskin surface. So, Reggie began, as Applejack laid one of her blankets on the ground. Tomorrow's up the mountains, then. Hopefully we can make it over in one day, Applejack said. Or at least make it to the peaks in one day. Hopefully it won't be too snowy. This time of year, there's definitely gonna be some snow, Das observed. Hope you ponies packed warm. Don't worry about that, dear Rainbow, Rarity said smugly. I'm more than adequately equipped to handle the difficult weather. But Applejack, I hope you brought something more than just that hat. I have my old quilted vest in here, simply enough, said Applejack, patting her saddlebags. A vest? No, of course that's not going to be enough, Rarity said. I'm going to do one of my sweaters. I don't need no... I insist, the Unicorn said firmly. She looked over at Rainbow Das. Although you don't even have anything packed. I'm perfectly fine, Rainbow Dash said. Pegasuses don't get cold. Pegasi, Rarity corrected her. Whatever! Oh, this is one of the reasons why I hate the season 6 opener. They tried so hard to remove this from canon. Not for me. Why? Very, very simple. Here is the reason why I think it was stupid to try to get Dash to be cold. And why this makes perfect sense. It's cold up there. It is chilly. Up in the atmosphere, it gets cold. Because you're leaving the several little layers. Why do you think Iron Man had to fix the icing problem? So Pegasi being resistant to cold makes more sense. So, let's get over our mountains. What's next? What's on the other side? Some other place, Rainbow Dash said, rolling onto her back. I've seen it a few times from the air. Looks like a big field of gold. Verily, didn't Twilight give you that book about the lands beyond Equestria? Applejack asked. Ah, yes, Unicorn exclaimed. She used her magic to open her saddlebag and float the book through the air. Sitting down in front of her, she opened it to the table of contents. The book was rather short and was organized into 4 sections, each based on a compass direction. Let me see. We crossed the western border, right? The other two nodded. Verity flipped to the page where the west section started. And the three forests, Dragon Ridge Mountains. Ah, ha! She cleared her throat. Beyond the Dragon Ridge Mountains, Equestria is neighbored by the Kingdom of Glydia, a broad land of plains and grasses inhabited by free roaming bands of earth ponies. Equestria and Glydia have long land cultural relations, including a treaty binding each country to come to the other's aid in the event of disaster. However, individual deer ponies are often wary and suspicious of strangers, so travelers are advised to be cautious. Kind of like Horska. You had to make a reference, couldn't you? Yes, I did. Applejack was grin. Land slicks! A whole country full of earth ponies. Sounds like my kind of place. Now that I think about it, kind of makes sense. We had a kingdom of mostly unicorns. We've had a city full of Pegasi. Why haven't we had anything that was only Earth Pony based? They certainly sound like a rough and tumble lot, Verity said. What's this business about them being free roaming? Do they not live in cities, I wonder? Speaking of which, now that I think about it, the show did seem to like to put down the Earth Ponies. Earth Pony rights! I bet they just wander around wherever they want, said Rainbow Dash. She smiled, putting her hose behind her head. No rules, no borders, no restrictions. A pony to live off the land and be your own mayor. I hope they ain't that lazy, Applejack said. That might be a Pegasus' idea of a good laugh, but us Earth ponies know the value of a little organization and hard work. Reckon that's true even outside Equestria. These ponies don't sound like farmers, AJ, Dash said. They sound fierce, tough. I wonder if we'll see any big, strapping stallions, Reggie rocked our fan. A bit of primitivism can be attractive in a stallion if he doesn't take himself too seriously. Okay, girls, let's not get caught up, Applejack said. Remember, we're not going for a vacation. We gotta cross Glidedale as fast as we can to make it to the Archback Mountains. Ready? Does the book say anything about mountains? Rarity turned to pages with her magic, scanning it rapidly. It doesn't seem to say so. I believe this book is concerned solely with the lands that border Equestria, not what border those lands are in turn. But the fact that there's no mention of the mountains might imply that Glidedale borders don't extend all the way to them. So we had to cross another different country? Dash said. This is great. Remember, Verity said, we only have to get there in 2 weeks. Once we get to the mountains and find the flower, we can use Spice's fire to send it right back. She used her magic to pluck the bottle of green and purple flames from her saddlebag. Magical fire flashed and shone. They all agreed that Rarity should be the one to carry the dragon fire. Do her skill keeping minute details. Be careful with that thing, Applejack said. If we lose it or break it, the bottle we are a mess of manure. Dustin the Earth probably saw a growl. Make it sound for dinner, then. Rarity and Rainbow Dash chuckled. Applejack smiled and began to pluck apples from her saddlebags. After dinner, Applejack pulled out some more blankets, and Rarity produced a pillow enchanted to conform to the sleep overhead. Rainbow Dash opted to use one of the blankets as additional padding beneath her. She was unused to sleeping on the ground, and its harness was unnerving and distracting. The Pegasus had chosen this spot near the entrance of the tarp, far enough away to keep her out of the rain. Restless, he had trouble relaxing. So while Rarity and Applejack talked, of all things, about business, Applejack was discussing her family's plans for expanding the South Orchard at Sweet Apple Acres. She stared up at the stormy sky. Suddenly, a long, jagged bolt of lightning lanced through the heavens, curling around a bank of clouds, turning the whole world blinding white. Rainbow Dash was in trance. She rose to her hose without realizing it, causing the other two ponies to glance her way. You all right, Rainbow? Applejack asked. What? Dash remarked. She shook her head. Oh, sorry. I'm fine. You're not scared of lightning, are you? Rarity said. Rainbow Dash gave her a strange look over her shoulder. They looked at the ground. You're scared of lightning? Rarity asked, incredulous. Don't your Pegasus ponies fly around in storms and hurricanes all the time? I'm not scared, Jess cried. Her face switched from angry to uneasy, to bashful and more. I'm... Lightning just makes me nervous is all. Wow, Applejack asked. Like Rarity Slate, Pegasus fly through storms all the time. You know, control storms, right? Well, sure, and I'm totally cool with storms, Jess quickly insisted. Wind, clouds, rain, and even tornadoes. They're no problem. She glanced up at the storming heavens again. But lightning, I can't. Hmm? Reddy murmured. Gas wasn't looking at him. Come on, spit out. I can't control lightning! Rainbow Dash said in breath. She turned around. She was surprised to see how sad she looked. It's the one part of storms I can't control! Have you ever tried? Reddy asked. Oh, loads of times. Rainbow Dash said, finally laying back down. There are some really slick weather ponies that can bug lightning bolts with their back legs. I sort of tried that before. Okay, what type of weather ponies can create lightning bolts by doing kicks? She set her head down on the blanket. But every time I try, the lightning feels just so wild. It's hot, fast, and bright, and I can never be fast enough to control it, no matter how fast I fly. I just wind up getting close to it, and it nearly fries my tail off. You know, this would be good character building for how she controls lightning in season 2. Just saying. She sighed. She was truly miserable. I'm a failure as a Pegasus. Rarity and Applejack regarded her silently. Finally, the Orange Pony said, Don't get upset, Sugar Cube. There's plenty of stuff ponies can't do. Shucks, I can't shear sheep. Yeah, about that. That will hurt. I'm an awful tennis player, Rarity offered brightly. How's that constant eyebrow? Well, I am. I've never been able to get the hang of an overhand serve. Look, I'm tired, girls. Dad said, turning away from them. Can we just go to sleep? I'm not fine with you, Applejack said. We gotta get up early tomorrow. We want to make it over a mountain by nightfall. Snuggling in her blanket, she yawned and laid her head back on her saddlebags. Sleep tight, Silver Pony. Rarity pulled on a sleeping mask and took the blanket around her, before gently slipping into the covers, laying her head on her pillow. She was the first to fall asleep, breathing softly within minutes. She had a very long and hard day. Applejack followed shortly after her, snoring gently within half an hour. Rainbow Dash remained awake, tossing and turning on top of the blankets. She rolled herself up on her own blanket, wrapped up like a spring roll. Don't say it! I'm gonna say it. Don't say it! I'm gonna say it. Don't! No. Beep beep, I'm a cloud. She was thinking about lightning. She thought about it countless times before over the years, and always the same frustration bubbled to her mind. What exactly do I do wrong? She wondered. Every other aspect of weather, rain, wind, snow, clouds, bent to her will, as it did for every other Pegasus. Yet lightning remained beyond her reach. It tore at her. Not all the time. It wasn't an obsession, but when she did think about it, she thought hard, because she wanted to master lightning. Lightning reminded her of herself. It was fierce and fast, wild and powerful. Lightning was what she wanted to be like. So why couldn't she control it? Is it because I'm not fast enough? She thought. Am I not fierce enough? Strong enough? Am I not as good as her? As previously mentioned, was not given to self-doubt, but she was not immune to it either. Her doubts, once stirred, would linger, as they lingered now. Following her to sleep where her dreams were filled with a flash of lightning, the sound of pealing thunder. She was chasing some point through the air, a flash of electric blue tail mingling with the bolts in the storming sky.